What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. And like I always say, if you ain't up, go ahead and get up and start that grind. But we're up here in Pennsylvania, picking up a rush load that goes to a job site back down in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So we are going to go ahead and get out, get loaded, get chained up, and I'll show you guys what I got once I get loaded. All right, everybody, so we got loaded. What we have is a grout plant. Not very big. I mean, it's 6 feet tall, 6,000 pounds. All you need is 2 chains to secure this thing, you know, and then make sure all your doors and everything are locked, so those don't go flying open when you're going down the road. But like I said, secured with 2 chains, one pulling in the front and then one pulling in towards the back. I have my chain, the excess of my chain, wrapped around my binder right here, and then I have a bungee right here that's pulling back on the slack. That way this binder doesn't flop in the wind or with the bumps going down the road. And then I have the same thing right here that's keeping that one down. So I have it placed right in front of my my front axle, my front trailer axle. A lot of times, you know, with these things that are short and heavy, or, you know, 6,000 pounds really isn't heavy, but heavy enough to make your ride super bumpy. You know, you see a bunch of guys that do it all different types of ways. Some people put it directly over their axles, you know, with something heavy that's short. They'll put it directly over their axles, but a lot of times I found that just makes your ride even worse, because, you know, when you have a single rear axle on your truck, it truly is a balancing act when it comes to your loads, you know, for something short like that. So, you know, because with a single rear axle, you don't want to have too little weight on your drive or too much weight on your drive. So what happens is when guys put it directly over their axles, they have all the weight, or a majority of the weight, over their trailer axles, and then that doesn't leave them a lot of weight on their drive on their truck. So you get, you know, that fast up and down bucking motion, because you don't have any weight on your drives. But then to counteract that, if you put it too far forward, you have too much weight on your drives, and then that's when you get the slow, harsh bucking movement. So, you know, it really is a balancing act. A lot of times you're not going to get it perfect, but I have, you know, airlift helper bags on my truck. So, you know, if I feel, and I have a wireless controller, so it's got the compressor and everything, so if I feel or I look at my truck and it's not even, it's squatting or something like that, I'll just, you know, increase the pressure in the bags, and that usually will level everything out, and I'll get a better ride. It's not going to be perfect, because if anybody has spring suspension or hutch suspension, any suspension that's not air, you'll know that it's never going to be perfect. You're going to get some sort of bucking sometimes, if you have it, you know, too far forward or too far backwards. But having those helper bags, it helps out a lot, because now I don't really get the bucking. I mean, I still get the harsh bump if I run over a pothole or something like that on these crappy roads that we have around here. I still get that harsh bump, but that's it. I don't have any bucking after the fact. So, and I've learned over the years, you know, not to put anything directly over my axle that's small or too far forward. I usually found if anything's about 10 feet long, and under about 7,000–8,000 pounds, I found that if I put it right in front of my axles, I get the best of both worlds. And plus I have a spread axle, so it's also going to be a little bit different for those guys that are running closed tandems. You know, so it's all about finding what works for you, testing things out. You know, if you get these small loads and stuff like that, that are, you know, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, whatever, however heavy, you know, try it in different spots on your trailer. you know, to see which spot rides the best. And then you'll know for the next time, you know, oh, this load is similar, you know, it's also 6,000 pounds, 10 feet long. So I had good luck with putting it, you know, in the middle of my trailer, so I'll do it like that. You know, so over the years you'll gain experience of, you know, where to put things and what works best for you, because every trailer, every truck, you know, every combination is set up different. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the road, get this thing down to this job site, and I'll see y'all there. All right, everybody, we are at our drop off. Let's go ahead and get unloaded. All right, so we got our load dropped off down in Fredericksburg and made it back to the yard. I had to stop and get my trailer looked at because I was having some brake issues, and ended up getting that fixed, so that's good there. Stopped at a buddy's shop and he got me squared away, or they got me squared away. So if you're ever, you know, in the Winchester area and you need a truck repair or a trailer repair, just give Interstate Truck Service a call, or Interstate Trailer. It's two different sides. They work on the trucks on one side and work on trailers on the other side. Great group of guys. You know, they always come in the clutch when I need them. So if you're ever in this area, look them up if you need some help. But I was going to talk about some things, and I saw where a couple people have already beaten me to the punch, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. And that's, you know, why people seem to be quitting Hotshot. Seems like a lot of people are jumping out of the Hotshot market and buying semis. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, just because I bought a semi myself. You know, and that way trying to, you know, give both perspectives. And it's different for everybody. You know, some people may feel the need to go out and buy a semi because they might be able to get better freight, or be empty less. You know, it might be easier to find loads going out or coming back if you have a semi and you can scale a full truckload. Some people were doing it for those reasons. Some people had a plan to start out in Hotshot and then move to a semi. You know, it was in their plans from the beginning. Myself included. You know, I had planned when I first started my business to jump in the Hotshot, get my name out there, make some money, get some more customers, and then jump into a semi. But, you know, my semi is only a single axle. So I'm not going to be scaling, you know, full 48,000 pound loads with that. And I'm fine with that because I got it specifically tailored to my needs. You know, I don't need to haul 48,000 pounds. You know, now, will it be nice to be able to do that? It might turn out to be, you know, but for my customers, I don't really need that extra axle to scale that much weight. So that's why I ended up getting a single axle. You know, but for other guys, they might need that extra axle to get them out of places that they go to, you know. And for me, I've looked at, you know, all the places that I go to and deliver. I've looked at what their market is for return loads. And I've seen, you know, over the years where I don't need to be able to scale a full truckload to get a decent load coming back home. You know, I can do it with a single axle, and that's why I bought a single axle. You know, if I needed the weight capacity, I would have bought a tandem axle tractor and called it a day. But I didn't need that, so I got a single axle, you know. So there is nothing wrong with Hotshot though. You know, don't look at some of these guys jumping from Hotshot to semi and think, oh, all these guys are getting out of the business. You know, this might not be a good time for me to get into business. That's not the case. You know, it might be the case for some people. Some people maybe don't like Hotshot or don't feel like they're making it in Hotshot, so they decide to go back to a semi or go to a semi to better their business. But that's not, you know, saying that Hotshot is no longer, you know, it's not a good business. Hotshot is still a pretty good business to be in. You know, if you know what you're doing, you know how to hustle, you know how to grind, you know how to market yourself, you know, and you get the job done, Hotshot is still profitable. You know, I mainly got a semi for longevity, and reliability and comfortability, just because I didn't see myself paying upwards of $60, $70, $80,000 for a new pickup when I could buy a semi for a quarter of that price. So that's why, you know, one of the main reasons that I got a semi. Yes, it helps with my customers, but I still could have done fine with my customers with a Hotshot setup. So, you know, that was a personal choice of mine to go to the semi. So don't think that, you know, because everybody's going to a semi that, you know, Hotshot is not a good thing to do, or, you know, a good business to start in. Like I said, if you know what you're doing, it's still a great business. You know, I have plans later on to replace my Hotshot once I, you know, get my semi on the road. You know, I'm going to get more semis down the road, and also I still want to keep some Hotshots because it still is money in Hotshot. I personally may not be running the Hotshot. I may have somebody in it. You know, it all depends on how things go later on down the road. So, you know, don't let what other people are doing discourage you from what you are planning on doing. You know, if you're planning on getting in Hotshot, don't think that you got to jump in the semi because everybody else is doing it. You know, jumping in the semi isn't for everybody. It's not for everybody's business. You know, you got to purchase things that are for your business and your business only, you know, because if you're trying to keep up with everybody else, keeping up with the Joneses, that's probably more than likely when your business is going to fail, you know. So stick to your lane is the best you can do. You know, stick to what you know, stick to what you need to do, and stick to what, you know, your customers' needs are. You know, if your customer needs you to get a semi and it's worth it, then go get a semi. If, you know, they don't need you to get a semi and you're good in the Hotshot, stay in the Hotshot. You know, it's that simple. Don't let what other people are doing dictate what you need to do. You know, so just kind of wanted to throw that out there. You know, I saw Hotshot Benny was kind of talking about the same thing. So, you know, I added on to that a little bit, you know, because I don't want people to get afraid or deterred or turned down about Hotshot because they see a lot of guys on YouTube jumping into a semi. You know, there's still plenty of money to be made out here in Hotshot. And the reason is because transportation is always going to be there. You know, whether it's a semi or a Hotshot, you know, stuff is going to need to be moved from point A to point B. You know, so find your niche, get your customers, meet their needs, and that's pretty much all it is. You know, like I said, if your customer needs you to get a semi and it's worth it, go ahead, get you a semi. But if it's not, stay in your Hotshot. You know, guys, listen to me, there's plenty of money to be made in Hotshot if you know what you're doing. All right, so I'm gonna leave that here. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Weekend's coming up. Hope everybody has a good weekend. So with that being said, everybody stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.